Jennifer Hudson had stayed quiet for weeks. No cryptic posts, no vague interviews, no emotional breakdowns in public. But when she finally decided to speak, it wasn't softly and it definitely wasn't carefully. It was a statement that landed, like an earthquake in Hollywood, after endless rumors, speculation, and whispered theories swirling online. Jennifer finally revealed why her relationship with Common ended so suddenly. And according to her, the reason wasn't jealousy, ego, or creative differences. It wasn't about schedules, fame, or drifting apart. It was about her son. Jennifer made one thing painfully clear. The moment Common crossed a boundary involving her child, the relationship was over. Instantly. No negotiations. No explanations. No second chances. Sources close to Jennifer revealed that the breaking point came when Common allegedly began behaving in ways she found deeply inappropriate toward her son. David Daniel Otunga Jr. To understand the severity of this, you have to understand Jennifer Hudson as a mother. David isn't just her child, he is her world, her anchor, her reason for surviving the darkest chapters of her life. Jennifer has endured unimaginable personal loss and public scrutiny. And through it all, her son has remained her priority. According to insiders, Common's behavior wasn't limited to one awkward comment or a single misunderstanding. Reportedly felt a pattern forming one that suggested a lack of respect not only for her child, but for her boundaries as a mother. There were allegedly subtle control tactics. Emotional pressure disguised as concern. Comments that crossed into uncomfortable territory, particularly remarks referencing David's father. For Jennifer, that crossed a line she had sworn would never be crossed again. She has fought too hard to create a peaceful, safe, and loving environment for her son. The moment she felt that environment was threatened, she acted without hesitation. Sources say Jennifer asked Common to leave her home immediately. No screaming, no dramatic confrontation, no drawn-out argument, just a firm decision and a clear message. You are no longer welcome in my space or in my life. And just like that, it was over. Friends say Jennifer felt no regret afterward, only relief. Protecting her child mattered more than romance, reputation, or public opinion. She wasn't about to sacrifice her peace for anyone, no matter how admired or celebrated they might be. Meanwhile, Common reportedly didn't take the breakup well. He was said to be shocked not simply because the relationship ended, but because he was the one being rejected. Those who know him say he's used to walking away, not being left behind. This time, the roles reversed, and Jennifer Hudson stood her ground. As fans reacted online, one question kept echoing louder than the rest. Was Jennifer Hudson the karma Common never saw coming? To understand how things reached this explosive ending, we have to rewind way back to where their love story began, long before the heartbreak. Jennifer Hudson and Common shared a long-standing friendship. They had known each other for years, moving in the same Hollywood circles, supporting each other's careers from a respectful distance. There was admiration, mutual understanding, no public drama. That changed in 2022. The two began working together on the film Breathe. And observers quickly noticed a shift. What once felt like professional camaraderie started looking different. They were spotted dining together multiple times, sitting closer than necessary, laughing quietly, sharing inside jokes. Eyewitnesses described playful energy, lingering glances, and moments of undeniable chemistry. Still, Jennifer denied everything. She insisted the public was exaggerating innocent moments and creating narratives that didn't exist. For months, she maintained that they were just friends and colleagues. But behind the scenes, sources later revealed the connection had grown into something deeper. Filming in Philadelphia, reportedly, played a major role. Long shooting days turned into late-night conversations. They opened up about personal struggles, careers, spirituality, and life beyond fame. What started as comfort slowly transformed into intimacy. The rumors intensified when Common traveled all the way to London to support Jennifer at the premiere of A Strange Loop, where she starred. According to insiders, they arrived separately to avoid media attention but once away from the cameras. They were inseparable, a source told the press. That Common flying internationally just to support Jennifer spoke volumes. This wasn't casual. This wasn't convenient still. Jennifer remained cautious. While Common appeared ready to embrace the relationship publicly, Jennifer wanted certainty. She needed stability, not just chemistry. It wasn't until January that they finally confirmed what many already suspected. On Jennifer's own talk show, the two openly acknowledged their relationship. The energy between them was warm, playful, and affectionate. Jennifer described Common as kind, grounded, spiritual, and talented. Common spoke about happiness, gratitude, and letting God guide their relationships, suggesting something deeper and intentional. Fans celebrated, believing Jennifer had finally found a partner who matched her emotional maturity. But others weren't convinced, because those familiar with Common's romantic history saw red flags forming, and time would prove those concerns weren't unfounded. While Jennifer and Common appeared happy on the surface, many wondered whether history was quietly repeating itself. Common has been romantically linked to several high-profile women: Erykah Badu, Taraji P. Henson, Serena Williams, Angela Rye, and Tiffany Haddish. And across these relationships, a pattern emerged: intense beginnings, deep emotional connections, and sudden endings, often tied to a reluctance to fully commit. His relationship with Angela Rye offered one of the clearest examples. Angela openly expressed her desire for marriage and children. Common, however, appeared uncertain, despite months of conversations. Insiders claim he avoided making concrete plans, leaving Angela emotionally stalled. Eventually, they parted ways, not because love was missing, but because their futures didn't align. Then came Tiffany Haddish. After working together, the two began dating. Tiffany later revealed she believed the relationship had long-term unturned potential until Common abruptly withdrew once things became serious. She publicly pushed back against the idea that the breakup was mutual, suggesting emotional investment met with retreat. Meanwhile, Common spoke about self-work, growth, and even shared that Michelle Obama had offered him relationship advice. While growth is admirable, many found it concerning that someone with such an extensive dating history still struggled with long-term commitment. For Jennifer, these patterns mattered, especially because of her past. Jennifer Hudson's past relationship with her ex-fiancé, David Otunga, left lasting scars. Their nearly decade-long relationship ended amid allegations of emotional and physical abuse. Beyond harming Jennifer, he allegedly manipulated their son, attempting to turn him against her, and forcing him into the role of a spy. That experience changed Jennifer forever. She vowed never to allow another man to compromise her child's emotional safety. So when she began noticing behaviors from Common that reminded her of control, pressure, or boundary violations, especially involving her son, alarm bells went off. Rumors later surfaced that Common proposed, believing he was ready to commit. Jennifer reportedly declined, not because she didn't care, but because she had learned to trust her instincts. She had already lived through the devastation of a broken engagement. She wasn't willing to repeat that pain. Common reportedly insisted he had changed. Jennifer listened. Then she said no, firmly, when Common crossed a line involving her son. Jennifer didn't hesitate. She chose motherhood over romance, peace over public approval, protection over potential. And in doing so, she reminded the world of something powerful. A woman's boundaries are not negotiable, especially when her child is involved. Common may have been shocked to be the one left behind, but Jennifer Hudson didn't look back. For her, the relationship didn't fail. It ended exactly where it needed to. After the breakup, something interesting happened. Jennifer Hudson didn't spiral. She didn't subtweet. She didn't leak cryptic messages through sources. She went silent. That silence spoke volumes, while social media buzzed with theories and headlines searched for villains. Jennifer focused on what she had always prioritized: her child, her career, and her peace. Those close to her say she felt lighter, freer, more grounded than she had in months. Common, on the other hand, retreated. Public appearances became limited. Interviews avoided personal questions. And when asked about love or relationships, his answers felt noticeably more guarded than before. Hollywood insiders began whispering that this breakup hit him differently. Not because the relationship ended, but because it ended on Jennifer's terms. For perhaps the first time, Common wasn't the one choosing the exit. He wasn't the one easing away when things got serious. He wasn't the one controlling the narrative. Jennifer Hudson was. And that shift mattered. Fans started revisiting old interviews, old patterns, old quotes connecting dots that had been ignored for years. Many began to see Jennifer not as another chapter in Common's dating history, but as the woman who finally refused to fit the pattern. Online, the conversation changed. Instead of asking what went wrong, people began asking, why did it take this long for someone to say no? Jennifer didn't owe the public an explanation, but when she spoke, her message was clear. Love is beautiful, but it is not worth sacrificing boundaries. Romance is meaningful, but it should never come at the cost of a child's emotional safety. Those close to Jennifer say she doesn't view the relationship as a failure. She views it as a lesson, one that reaffirmed her strength, her instincts, and her growth. She survived loss. She survived abuse. She survived public scrutiny, and now she chose herself. As for Common, only time will tell whether this experience truly changed him more, whether it becomes just another moment of reflection without transformation. One thing, however, is undeniable. Jennifer Hudson walked away with her dignity intact, her priorities clear, and her peace protected. And in a town where love stories often end in chaos, that might be the most powerful ending of all. So the real question isn't whether Jennifer Hudson was karma. The real question is whether this was the moment. She finally chose herself and never looked back. Once the story broke, the internet did what it always does best: to chose sides. Social media platforms exploded with reactions. And within hours, Jennifer Hudson's name was trending alongside Common's. Comment sections turned into debates, timelines filled with clips from old interviews, and fans began dissecting every detail of their relationship with a new lens. And surprisingly, the overwhelming support landed on Jennifer's side. Many fans praised her for doing what so many people struggle to do: walking away the moment a boundary is crossed. Mothers in particular resonated deeply with her decision. Comment after comment echoed the same sentiment: the moment a child is involved, the discussion is over. Others began re-examining Common's past relationships, noticing similarities they hadn't fully acknowledged before. Old interviews resurfaced. Quotes about commitment were replayed. Breakup timelines were compared. What once looked like coincidence started looking like a pattern. Some fans admitted they had romanticized Common for years: his poetry, his spirituality, his calm demeanor. But now, they questioned whether emotional intelligence without accountability was enough. Meanwhile, Jennifer's fan base rallied behind her fiercely. They highlighted her growth, her resilience, and the fact that she had already survived unimaginable loss and trauma. To them, this wasn't a breakup story. It was a story of evolution. Media outlets, sensing the shift, adjusted their tone. Headlines that initially hinted at mutual separation or creative differences slowly changed. Words like boundaries, motherhood, and self-protection began appearing more frequently. Jennifer Hudson was no longer being portrayed as heartbroken. She was being portrayed as decisive, and that made some people uncomfortable because society often praises women for endurance, not for leaving, for forgiveness, not for finality, for silence, not for saying enough. Jennifer did the opposite. She didn't beg. She didn't explain endlessly. She didn't soften her truth to make others comfortable. She chose clarity over confusion. As the noise settled, one thing became clear. This breakup marked a turning point not just in Jennifer's love life, but in how the public viewed her, no longer just the powerhouse vocalist or Oscar-winning actress. She emerged as a woman who refuses to repeat cycles, a mother who listens to her instincts, a person who understands that peace is priceless. And while the internet will eventually move on to the next headline, this moment will linger, especially for those watching quietly, learning from her example, because sometimes the strongest love story isn't about staying, it's about knowing when to walk away. And Jennifer Hudson did exactly that, as the headline slowly faded and the internet moved on to the next celebrity story. Jennifer Hudson and Common went in very different directions. Jennifer didn't disappear, she redirected. Those close to her say she poured her energy back into her work, her wellness, and most importantly, her son. She returned to her routines with renewed focus, surrounding herself with people who respected her boundaries and supported her growth. Professionally, Jennifer thrived. Appearances became more confident. Interviews reflected clarity. Her presence carried a calm strength that didn't need explanation. If there was heartbreak, she didn't wear it publicly. If there was disappointment, she processed it privately. And that restraint spoke louder than any statement ever could. Friends say Jennifer doesn't regret the relationship. She views it as a chapter that taught her exactly what she will and will not tolerate. She learned that love without respect is not lovin', that protection is sometimes the bravest form of self-care. Common's path looked different, while he continued working. Insiders say he became noticeably more introspective. Those around him describe a man forced to sit with rejection in a way he hadn't before. For someone accustomed to controlling the ending, this experience reportedly shook his sense of certainty. Whether that reflection leads to true change remains unknown. What is known is that the narrative around him shifted. No longer viewed solely as the thoughtful poet or spiritual romantic, some fans began asking tougher questions about accountability, patterns, and emotional responsibility. And perhaps that's the quiet impact of this story. Not scandal, not chaos, but consequence. Jennifer Hudson didn't seek revenge. She didn't aim to embarrass. She didn't weaponize the media. She simply chose herself in doing so. She reminded the world that boundaries don't need permission. Motherhood isn't negotiable. And strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it walks away calmly and never returns. This wasn't just the end of a celebrity relationship. It was the closing of a cycle and the beginning of a woman standing firmly in her truth. Because in the end, Jennifer Hudson didn't lose a partner. She protected her peace, and that might be the most powerful ending of all. By the time the dust fully settled, it became clear that this story was never just about Jennifer Hudson and Common. It was about something much bigger in an industry that often glorifies power couples. Grand gestures and public romance, Jennifer's decision disrupted the fantasy. She reminded everyone that love isn't proven by appearances, proven by respect, consistency, and safety. Especially for women who are mothers, especially for women who have survived trauma, especially for women who have already paid the price for ignoring red flags. Hollywood rarely celebrates women who walk away early. Instead, it rewards endurance, it praises patience, it romanticizes sticking it out even when something feels wrong. Jennifer did the opposite. She trusted her intuition, and that is what made this story resonate far beyond celebrity gossip. Across social media, quiet conversations began happening, especially among women. Viewers shared personal stories about leaving relationships the moment their children felt uncomfortable. Others admitted they wished they had listened to their instincts sooner. Jennifer Hudson became an unintentional symbol, not of heartbreak, but of self-respect. What made her choice even more powerful was its simplicity. There was no smear campaign, no public blame, no messy interviews dragging someone's name through the mud, just a decision. And sometimes, that's the loudest statement of all. As for Common, this moment became a mirror, one that reflected patterns people had ignored for years. Whether he chooses growth or repetition is something only time will reveal. But Jennifer, she already won. Not because she got the last word, but because she didn't need one. She walked away knowing exactly who she is, what she values, and what she will never compromise again. And in a world obsessed with love stories that burn fast and fade louder, Jennifer Hudson gave us a different ending. One rooted in boundaries, one rooted in motherhood, one rooted in strength. Because sometimes the real glow isn't a new relationship. It's the courage to say this ends here and mean it. Mean it. Drop your thoughts in comments section. Follow us for more celebrity dramas. Our videos is unfiltered. We provide you the latest news ever. See you in the next video.